Warning! This video contains full spoilers for FNaF Secret of the Mimic. If you have not yet played the game for yourself, I highly recommend doing so before watching this video. If you have already played the game, please enjoy and thank you for watching. The relationship between FNaF's game and book lore has always been one of heavy debate amongst fans. Are they separate canons? Are they the same universe? And what happens when stories are retold in different ways? This problem had existed ever since the original novel trilogy released all those years ago, and since then, many people, including myself, have been hoping for a game that would bridge the gap between these two mediums, either confirming their connection or denying it entirely. And on June 13th, 2025, a game just like that was released, being Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. After an announcement in August, a demo in September, and a trailer in February, the game would finally release to hopefully clear things up about book lore versus game lore, as well as addressing what the heck was going on in Ruin. I myself definitely had some concerns going into the game, but let's dive right in to see how well Secret of the Mimic holds up. The gameplay of Secret of the Mimic is honestly some of the most refreshing and exciting gameplay that a FNaF game has had in a long time. The puzzles are really fun and interesting, particularly these ones scattered around with the tiles. The data diver, aka our main device for this game, is also really cool. Upgrading it throughout the game with those fun minigames is really satisfying, and it basically just feels like a better and more thought out version of Ruin's Fazwrench. The stealth in this game is also phenomenal. Security Breach, another Steel Wool game focused on stealth, ironically had terrible stealth sections because of mechanics such as the security bots. Here though, stealthing is not only engaging, but also terrifying, as the Mimic can be in any costume, at any place, at any time. There's also a few miscellaneous gameplay sections, such as the carnival games, and the many chases, which are all great as well. Finally, the section with Tiger Rock near the end honestly confused me a lot the first time I played, but as I kept playing, this section became one of my favorites of the game for being genuinely terrifying. Some sections are better than others, but overall, it's a nice package. Good job, Steel Wool. Secret of the Mimic's marketing promised that it would introduce several new characters to the FNaF series. And not only did it do that, but they're all pretty incredible. Jackie, the poster child of this game thanks to the advertising, has a pretty excellent design reminiscent of Sister Location's cast, and is animated beautifully. I am honestly kind of disappointed that Steel will put her in all of the marketing, and yet only put her in the game for about 10 minutes, but I still really like her. Big Top is an absolutely goated design in my opinion, and is genuinely scary. Dolly is a cute character, and all of the different mascots around the manor are pretty unsettling, especially the Tiger Rock suit from near the end of the game, and this early design of Chica from Chica's Party World? Wow, this video ages like milk. Additionally, there's the Sleepy Moon guy down in the basement, who is, in my opinion, one of FNaF's most creepy and terrifying designs, and his little puzzle area was really cool to see. Anyways, we also get the reveal of a few returning characters, specifically Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Fredbear, and Spring Bonnie, in the form of prototype suits in one of the endings. I'll talk about the endings later, but for now just know that this reveal is insane. The story of Secret of the Mimic is not only really cool just on its own, as it details the story of Edwin, his family, and his relationship with Fazbear, but it's also presented to us in a very engaging way. Film reels, audio logs, collectible mail, and of course, the endings. Secret of the Mimic, in my opinion, utilizes FNaF's tradition of multiple endings in the best way possible, with a total of 3. One where you just do what's asked, leave, and get killed by the Mimic who is tricking you, one where you disobey the Mimic and end up in Edwin's house, where you fight off the Mimic in several ways before he crashes your truck and steals your data diver, and finally a branch off of the second ending, where you seemingly change the Mimic's personality to David. The parachute ending is my personal favorite, as it's so cool to finally see prototype suits for the original Fazbear characters, as well as the chase with the Mimic being very intense. As of right now, no one really knows which ending is canon, and I could easily see either the parachute ending or the David ending being real, but only time will tell. Secret of the Mimic is probably the best looking FNaF game, even counting games like Security Breach or Ruin. Murray's costume manor is such a fascinating location to explore, being full of dilapidated suits and secret areas that hide both fun collectibles and disturbing scenes. The way that this game utilizes its setting as a mascot workshop in order to cram each environment full of details is amazing, and makes each area feel full of life despite its abandonment. The textures are top notch, the lighting heightens the mood of each area, and this game is just really nice to look at. However, despite all of this, there is one problem with this game's visuals for me, and it's that my computer has an awful time running this game. When I bought Secret of the Mimic on launch day, I spent hours trying to get the game to actually run on my PC, and was only able to do so after verifying the game files and putting the graphics at their lowest possible settings. I wrote the script for this video before any patches came out, so hopefully this is a game issue that gets patched, and not my own computer, but we'll see. I feel like Steel Wool's FNaF games have a reputation in the community of not being all that scary, and while I do think this is true for some games, Secret of the Mimic definitely managed to scare me a few times. The main horror of this game is all about fear of the unknown, as at any point the Mimic could enter a costume and start pursuing you. This is, in my opinion, a very effective method of horror, and the Mimic feels super threatening thanks to this style. Beyond the sections I already mentioned, like with Tiger Rock, the other thing about this game that scared me the most was the multiple instances of dead employees being seen inside of suits, a detail that is genuinely bone-chilling. I wouldn't say this game is the most consistently scary, but it definitely has its moments, and the jump scares are very nice. Okay, so in order to be fair to this game, after all the positives I've listed, I want to do a brief section going over some miscellaneous complaints I have with this game, so that the next Steel Wool FNaF game can be even better. The main negative for this game in my eyes is that it doesn't really feel like a FNaF game. To my knowledge, this is the first FNaF game where Freddy Fazbear himself was used in literally zero marketing, and was just regulated to a cameo appearance in a secret ending. That, coupled with a gameplay that, while good, does feel inspired from other mascot horror games, make this game feel like it lacks the FNaF identity. Besides that, there are a few nitpicks, like these cupcakes in the admin wing being pretty annoying, and the fact that a few areas can't be accessed again after you leave them, but that's about it. Overall, Secret of the Mimic is an extremely polished, stunning, and mostly glitchless game that I believe is pretty close to what modern FNaF should be. Just throw in a DLC a little while later about Fall Fest, and I'd say this game is pretty much complete. I see this game as basically being Security Breach if it was actually polished, as a lot of things here are done infinitely better compared to that game. However, I do want to give my stance on something I talked about at the start of this video. Are the FNaF games and the FNaF books, specifically Tales from the Pizzaplex, connected? Well, it's complicated. While there are definitely similarities, like the entire storyline with Edwin, the Mimic looking different, and the former Fazbear team dying to the Mimic, there's also plenty of differences, such as the circumstances of Edwin and Fiona's deaths, and the manor being a lot larger and more complex than in the original story. As I said earlier, I think DLC for this game, or maybe another game entirely, would help clear these things out. But as a Tales Games believer, I still think it's likely that the two canons are linked. I would personally rate Secret of the Mimic as an 8.5 out of 10, and would highly recommend checking this game out for yourself. But anyways, that's all from me. I'm Supersonic, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.